Testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Warehouse. It is the 8th of March, exactly 11 a.m. There we go, all working. So, what do we have for this Friday? Well, markets, we're going to go through those. We're going to have a look at Bitcoin. We're going to especially have a look at Dencum today and what that's going to involve, how that's going to shake up the layer 2s and the layer 1s. We hit $140 on Solana. The chart that's up that we had a price target of $145, which we're currently sitting at. So where is Sol going to go next? We're going to tell you. Then we're going to look at SandMonkey and Sandbox. What is the future for Sandbox? What is the future for the coin? Let's have a look at that. Then we've got some console NFT news. We've got some news about Do Kwon. Maybe he isn't going to America. Maybe he's going to go to South Korea. Let's see. And then we have our final thoughts. And as always, the bottom right-hand side, this is our short, near-term price target for Bitcoin, $74,000. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see we are sitting at 104,661 fans. The target for the end of this year is to get somewhere near 200,000. So what you need to do is smash the like button, say hello, hit subscribe, hit follow, whatever it is you need to do. Do that and help us get to our goal of 200,000 by the end of the year. And of course, the topic today is there going to be a Friday move up? It's the last day of the week as far as the ETFs are concerned. What are they going to bring us today? Let's go through all of the news. So, lucky 2022, happy Women's Day. Indeed, it is a happy Women's Day to all of our female followers. I know we've got Sonia out there somewhere. We have Mary out there somewhere. We have, I'm trying to think of a name, Francisca is out there somewhere. I hope you have a great Women's Day today. And why not celebrate Women's Day? Why not indeed? Right, good morning to Mags, good morning to Kishan, good morning to Hidden Agendas, good morning to everybody else that is out there. You are most welcome, Lucky. Hello, streamer, hello to you as well. Remember, this is not a recording. I am actually here. If you hear that, that's me tapping on my own head. I am in the room. So make sure if you've got any questions about what we're covering today, ask them in chat. I have 3 sets of chat windows open, so I should be able to see everything that you have to say. But anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the charts. Market cap is up. I cannot believe how high we are. We started streaming on some of these platforms at least at about 700, 800 million, billion market cap for Bitcoin. And look where we are now, 2.57 trillion. We have volume still a very healthy 127 billion, even though it is down. Let's not worry about that. Bitcoin dominance is falling. That is a good sign for the rest of the cryptos out there. But still, Bitcoin and ETH combined, still 70%, as I've said for the last few days. Bitcoin is coming in at 67,250. Ethereum is just under $4,000. I think we're going to break $4,000 and keep moving up. We are going to have the Bitcoin Ethereum chart today as well. So I'm going to show you, I think we've broken out of a long-term downtrend, and I'm going to show you where I think it's going to go for Ethereum. BNB is up a touch, and Solana is sitting at 145, which is where we said it was going to sit at the start of the week because that's its local resistance level. Gainers then, Flocky, Dog, Pepe, it's meme season apparently. It's meme season. I've made a couple of videos this week. One about a meme token are definitely doing the rounds. So Flocky is up 37.5%. Dog with Hat is up 22%. Bonk is up slightly at 9%. Dogecoin is up at 8%. Remember that the target for Doge is to get above 19 cents. If it does that, then it could head up towards 24, 26 cents. SHIB is up. And SHIB is probably going to flip Dogecoin as long as Dogecoin and the X news are not announced. So that's your gainers for the last 24 hours. We don't want to go and have a look at Bonk. We want to go and look at the losers. So FET has had a retracement. Do you remember what I said a few days ago? A lot of these coins, especially the meme coins and the AI tokens, are probably going to have some profit taking along the way. And I said, if it drops between 5 and 10%, it's nothing to worry about. It's a profit take. Fetch entered price discovery, got up to $2.74, $2.56. I'm not saying buy Fetch. What I'm saying is keep an eye on it. If it does come down towards $2, $2.10, $2.14, that might be a good price to get in. Not financial advice, of course. Near is down. Woo. Arweave. A lot of the coins that were up at the start of the week are having a profit take. Now, some of them, minuscule profit takes. So keep an eye out for those. There will be what you should be doing. And again, one of our X-Files is about this. You shouldn't necessarily be looking at these coins for the ones to buy, because these have already had their huge pumps. Some of them, yes, still have a long way to go, but try and see what bargains there are. Fetch at $2.50. Is that going to be a $10 coin in the bull run? Is it going to be a $20 coin in the bull run? Near Protocol, is that going to be a $15 or $20 coin? Have a look at the losers, especially the coins that might not have pumped as much over the last 7 days, because it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad projects. Some of these projects down here are just having a retracement. Sui, remember, has 4x'd. Sui's not a bad project. Keep an eye out and have a look down here. Stacks is going to do well when Bitcoin does well. So the charts are always good to look at when you have a portfolio of greens, but it's also good to have a look at the reds to see what you can get, see what you can snap up in the March bargains. Now we're going to move on to the X-Files. We've got an hour to do the show. I have been trying to do the show within an hour. That's basically because greatly appreciated. So remember when the president of Venezuela spent a huge part of their budget on Bitcoin and everyone said he was a retard? Well, now he has tripled up. It wasn't Venezuela, it was El Salvador, but we get the point. El Salvador was buying Bitcoin at $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, $35,000. And now they are sitting on, I believe they've got $160 or $180 million worth of Bitcoin on their books. And remember, they're not a huge country. So this has been a very good move for El Salvador. When they did buy their Bitcoin, they were given a junk rating by the International Monetary Fund, which of course is probably more of a, I don't know what to say. We'll leave it at that. Now, for those of you out there that have been following our channel, Camino Points. Camino is a DeFi platform where you can stake some of your assets on the Solana blockchain and earn points. The snapshot is going to be taken on the 31st of March. That's for quarter one. There's going to be 4 quarters in the airdrops for Camino. So if you are in Camino, just to let you know that it has been announced, the snapshot will be March the 31st. 7% of the total supply will be dropped in the first airdrop. So keep an eye out for that and make sure to go over and follow Camino Finance. Remember, we're not sponsored by anybody on this channel. We're not paid by anybody. We just cover the news. Now, this is the article that it kind of ties in with what I've been saying on here for quite a few weeks now, which is about chasing tornadoes. You see the tornado looks incredible. What you don't want to do is catch the tornado because it will wreck you. And that's the same in crypto. You don't want to be chasing all-time highs. You don't want to be chasing coins that are pumping 40% in a day. This girl has summed it up. The best time to buy Sol was when nobody was paying attention to it. The best time to buy ordinals was when nobody was paying attention to them. The best time to buy meme coins, same again. What is nobody paying attention to right now? Now, as you know from watching us on here, we've been looking at Solana since it was $20. We've been looking at meme coins for the last year and a half. We've been looking at projects. We try and find projects which are not necessarily in the spotlight at the minute that are going to pump. And that's what we try and do, because that's where you're going to get the most value. If there are 10 coins, all of equal standing, and 7 or 8 of them have pumped because they're in markets where they're in the news, like AI and meme coins at the minute, should really have a healthy retracement in the next couple of weeks because they've ripped. So they will then come out of the news and the news will be negative. But that would then be your opportunity to buy into those types of projects, especially AI, maybe not so much meme coins. So what isn't in the news? You just have to look at what's not done so well over the last 30 days. That's what I would start with. What coins in what categories haven't done very well? So this guy summed it up. Skill summed it up perfectly. This is what we try and do on the channel. We try and find you coins which simply are not in the public eye at the minute, because they will always have their time to shine. So let's move on very quickly. I am very concerned that we run out of time today. Right, so we are at 67.3. Remember, we have our target up here, which is 74,000. I'm not the only one thinking we'll get there. There are a few other people. Max Kaiser has said 75,000 by today. I think that was tongue-in-cheek, but I think 75,000 is on his book. We have other people, other traders are saying the same thing. Are we gearing up for another leg up? If we're going to do it, I think we'll do it today, or we'll do it over the weekend. But remember, this next line here, this is our all-time high. Now, we need to break this, and we're going to do it in one of two ways. I think we're going to shoot up, hit this, and come back down, or we're going to break through, test it as support, and then move up. I would prefer this method. I would prefer us to break 70,000, maybe get to 71, 70,800, 71,200, around that level, then come back down to test the previous all-time high. That's what I would love to see, because like I always say, we want to see Bitcoin going up like this. That's what we want to see. And then we can bounce up, and the same way when we come down, we've got multiple levels of supports underneath. So very quickly for me, Bitcoin, we have been kind of at this level now for a few days. Are we going to see something else? Are we going to see another leg up? And if we do, where is that going to take us? Not so much of a bull flag as the previous one, but we're kind of stuck in this range now, which is a good range to be stuck on. Don't forget, we're at 67,000. We're sitting just under all-time high. You know, look at where we were last week of February. We were down in the 50s. Go further back, look where we were. We've come a long way, and we've done it in a really beautiful way. Bitcoin is really showing us the way that we should be moving up in price, and it's lovely to see. What I don't want to see with Bitcoin is that, because that will lead to this. So the more we do this kind of crab step, let's call it crab step, the better for me. Remember what happened over here. Hang on. Remember what happened over here? We went rocketing up and we came rocketing straight down. We came up, we came straight down. So this kind of movement that we're doing now, where we're putting in some levels of support underneath us, is great to see. Anyway, we are going to look at the Bitcoin Ethereum chart in a little bit, but first we're going to go over. So Denken, I have covered this before, and I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of it, but it's quite an important update, and it's for the second biggest crypto, which is of course Ethereum. So Denkun, whichever way you want to call it, is one of the major updates that we get from time to time on Ethereum. We've had lots of different upgrades. We've had Shanghai, we've had London, we've got Denken now. For those of you wanting to know why they have these unusual names, I think it's where they were when they took the vote on it. I think that's what that's the naming convention for them. So this upgrade could mean near zero fees for layer 2 blockchains, according to Fidelity Digital Assets. The upgrade is the first step towards enabling the network's roll-up centric roadmap, the report said. Now remember, Matic has been all over this for years. So Matic is the front runner on this, and Matic has literally taken Ethereum forward. It's developed out the technology, the ZK rollups that Matic have built out. We've now got the AG layer built by Polygon Labs. So Matic, for me, should always be in your portfolio, not financial advice. So the upgrade is scheduled for March the 13th, which I believe is next Wednesday. It's expected to lower the fees. We've looked at this. I think it's going to reduce the fees by about 75%. And it allows Ethereum to act as a proper database for other blockchains. Let's get rid of this. Now, does it mention the actual fees? Ethereum's improvement as a database unveils the opportunity for near zero transaction fees for users of Layer 2s. The upgrade will provide the scaling needed to support millions of users on Layer 2 blockchains, making it more fitting distributed database for other chains. Now, if we think about this logically, what do we want Ethereum to be? Ethereum is so popular and so big that we don't really want it to deal with every single transaction that you put through for an NFT, really, when we think about it. What we want Ethereum to be, if you go back to the old school terminology, we want it to be the mainframe. We want it to be like the decentralized mesh that holds everything together. We then want the Layer 2s to sit on top to then, in a methodical fashion, add the transactions to Ethereum. So what Ethereum does, it becomes the blockchain of the internet. That's what we want Ethereum to be. We don't want it to be involved directly in every individual issue, every individual transaction. That's what the Layer 2s are for. That's the reason for Layer 2s. Remember, there's the triumvirate, which is, for a network has three problems: decentralization, security, and speed. Ethereum has security and decentralization. It lacks in speed, and that's where Layer 2 comes. The Layer 2s come along with the roll-ups and everything else that they do. There's Optimism, Arbitrum, Matic. They're really the top three for me. There are other ones. There's gaming ones coming on board. There's lots of others. So what Ethereum is taking a step back and becoming the background process of all of these Layer 2s. So in the future, most people probably won't notice Ethereum. They're not going to notice that they're transacting on whatever, because it's becoming more and more of this monster that just powers everything. So for me, this has to happen for Ethereum. It's not a case of should it go in this direction. It has to happen. There is no way that Ethereum can do everything on its own without help of these Layer 2s. So the roll-ups are Ethereum protocols that process the transactions separately from the main network to help increase speed and lower costs. Layer 2s are separate blockchains built on top of Layer 1s. We just already stated this. In the short term, users who wish to benefit from the fee change must sacrifice some decentralization and security by transacting on Layer 2s instead of Ethereum. This is true. This is, again, decentralization, security, and speed. They're your three problems. Nobody's really solved that. If you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is what? It's slow, but it's decentralized and it's secure. If you look at Solana, Solana is more centralized, but it's quick and it is fairly secure. So everything has to give up something. Cardano is the same. Cardano is decentralized and it's secure, but it's not that quick. You cannot have everything. Maybe in the future, when we have quantum nodes, then maybe we will have everything. But right now, we don't have that. We strongly believe that transacting on Ethereum for application-specific purposes will still be considered the best option in the medium term as Layer 2 platforms continue to mature. This is, I mean, you've got to remember, a lot of these Layer 2s are new kids on the block. Arbitrum, Optimism, they're not that old. They have to be built out. They have to build all of the apps for people to use. Ethereum, it's like that picture of the, what they call the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's the big one in the middle, carrying all of the little Layer 2s at its side. And then in a few years' time, Ethereum's going to be the little old Jedi turtle in the middle. And all the big Layer 2s will be surrounding Ethereum, taking it forward. That's where we're going to go to. And that's what has to happen for Ethereum, because if we're dealing with 500 million people now, and maybe only 1 million of them are actually using Ethereum, what happens when 100 million people want to use these apps and these tools? It's not possible. It's not capable of dealing with that volume. So the Layer 2s they're going to take all the heavy load in the next 2 to 5 years. And that's potentially where you'll see whether Optimism or Arbitrum or Matic or all three, you'll see whether they're going to become $100 billion plus projects in the future. So we're not going to look at the Ethereum chart because we know Ethereum is going to head up towards $4,000 potentially. So what we're going to do is, I've brought this chart up a few times. Let me actually get it onto the screen for you. This is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Now let me just move that back over there where it was. So we have this trend line here, this moving average. And as you can see, Ethereum has been losing and losing and losing and losing and losing and losing and losing against Bitcoin ever since October 2022. So for what's that, 17 months, Ethereum has lost ground against Bitcoin. Now, it changed very recently. And what we talk about is when you break these trend lines, these support bands, when you break them and then you use them as support, what tends to happen is you do this and you break up. If you see here, it tried to come through and it came back down. It didn't hold it as support, but this time it did. So what this means is that Ethereum, in my humble opinion, is going to make gains against Bitcoin in the next few weeks, potentially months. So what I was trying to do before the stream was give you an idea of what this would look like. Now you've got to bear in mind, I am not Picasso. Okay, I am not Picasso. So I've taken a point roughly to follow this trend line of what could happen. And it looks kind of like this. So what I would expect, and miraculously enough, we kind of come up to this level here, which is here. So why do I think this could happen? Well, first of all, Ethereum is going to get its ETF. At some point in the future, Ethereum is going to get an ETF. And that is going to absolutely pump the price of Ethereum. And it's going to pump it outside of the bull market in terms of we're going to see additional gains for Ethereum. Yowza, yep, I would totally, I covered that yesterday. Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy are getting a $700 million raise. And my question yesterday was how much of that 700 million is going to go into Bitcoin and how much is going to go into Ethereum. I'm not overly impressed, if I'm honest with you, with Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy getting Ethereum, because he's done nothing but talk about Bitcoin for the last 3 or 4 years. If he goes back on his word and buys Ethereum, you've got to ask the question, why? In a race, if Bitcoin is the fastest horse in his eyes, why is he getting on another horse? Why is he getting on Ethereum if he thinks Bitcoin is going to be the top performer? He has said time and time again, why diversify your portfolio when Bitcoin is the answer? So if they do go out and buy Ethereum, he's going to have to come up with a damn good reason why he's buying Ethereum. Because for me, the only reason to buy Ethereum is it will be a faster horse in the bull run. And I believe it will be a faster horse in the bull run. That's the problem. So for me, Michael Saylor is, if he hadn't have said everything about Bitcoin being the only problem, being the only solution, fine. But he's harped on about, I've watched 20 interviews with Michael Saylor talk about Bitcoin. They've asked him about Ethereum. Do you hold Ethereum? No. Why would I hold Ethereum when Bitcoin is a solution? So for MicroStrategy to go and buy Ethereum, it means they believe it's going to outperform Bitcoin. Now, I do believe it's going to outperform Bitcoin. Number one, it's going to get its own ETF, either in May or in February next year. It's going to happen. It's not if, but when. And we don't know when that's going to happen. So let's say that Ethereum goes to $30,000. That's a 7x from here. Okay? Is Bitcoin going to go to $450,000 in this bull run? I don't think so. So therefore, should you be buying Ethereum? Yes, you should, because it's nearly at $4,000. My prediction in this bull run was $12,000 to $15,000, and I thought that was being fairly conservative. But this pattern is going to break. I think we're going to see this kind of action on Ethereum. So, whereas here, all along here, from here down, so from this period down, which was November 2021 until today, so 2.5 years. 2.5 years, the best solution would be to have held Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has gained in value against Ethereum. Now, if we follow the same pattern that we followed in the previous bull run, remember, cycles don't repeat, they rhyme. That's the way to look at it. So don't expect an exact line up like this, but expect something similar. Now, this might not happen today. This might happen over here. This might happen by October 2025, which, believe it or not, is probably going to be the peak of the next bull cycle. So for me, Ethereum is going to potentially outperform Bitcoin over the next year based on three things, and you always look for confluence. What are those three things? The three things are: it's broken above this trend, which it's been stuck in since August of 2022. It's broken above and it's held it as support, number one. Number two, the Ethereum ETF. The Ethereum ETF alone is going to bring potentially 30, 40, 50 billion into Ethereum just on its own over a period of maybe a year, 18 months. So the Ethereum ETF. Thirdly, Ethereum always runs up. During a bull run, Ethereum always outstrips Bitcoin. In a bear market, it performs worse. Bitcoin normally performs better than everything else in a bear run. In a bull run, Ethereum will make additional gains because the market cap is smaller. 300 billion versus a 1.2 trillion. It will always outperform it. So for me, I think Ethereum, I know it's already moved up to nearly $4,000, but it's still not a bad price to buy it at. If it's going to go to 15,000, it's a 4x. If it's going to go to 25,000, it's a 6x. So just bear that in mind. I think Ethereum's going to have a great run. And full disclosure, I do hold Bitcoin. I do hold Ethereum. And moving on to another layer one, I do hold Solana. He does not act passionately, but he's very passionate orientated. So his investments are not unbiased. Absolutely agree. And I do think Ethereum is going to have, the Ethereum ecosystem is going to have a good run. That doesn't just mean Ethereum, it means all the layer twos are always going to have a good run as well. So Solana goes to $140 after scooping the prestigious CoinMarketCap Crypto of the Year award. So the blockchain platform founded by Qualcomm engineer Anatoly Yakovenko. I can never get his name right. So basically, if you want to know why there is a Solana mobile phone, look no further than the fact that he worked in telecoms. And that's the reason why. So it won Crypto of the Year, and obviously it's gone up to $130, $140. I've got my price predictions in the chart, which we'll look at in a minute. Solana's inception stemmed from a bold vision to challenge centralized financial systems and provide a decentralized alternative developed by Solana Labs and overseen by Solana Foundation. The platform's mission has evolved to encompass DeFi, NFTs, crypto payments. Remember, another thing that's really important to understand about crypto, it's very young. I don't know how old most of you are, but I'm old. I am old. And when the internet first started, I know everyone's sighing at me because I've said this story before. I had AOL, America Online, dial-up, and it was a 28.8K modem, I think it was, something like that. and it would always go off. It was terrible, and your phone bill was astronomical, and it was a nightmare, and it kept dying. And it took years to get to where we are now. It took years, infrastructure, everything else. Solana is 4 years old. Solana has become a $50 billion blockchain in 4 years. Now, there is a lot of hype involved in that. There is a lot of speculation, I understand. But it's still a profitable, built-out network. It has a mobile phone. It has, as well as having the NFTs and the DeFi, it's also got some of the biggest meme coins. So everything you want, it's there. It's there. And in crypto, over 29 years is old. I'm 49. Yowza, I'm 49. I am an old man. This is my second technological revolution, because I was around for the internet. So yeah, I was around before Google existed, which is incredible to think, really. Back in those days, you had to listen to men in pubs tell you the information you needed to know. There we go. Well, you're 50 next month. I'm 50 in October. So you're really, 6 months older than me? Yeah, we've been around a long time. Your first US robotics was a 2,400 modem. You must be even older than me then. But yeah, I mean, the point of the matter is these are young chains. You know, it's all well and good. I think the problem is crypto has moved so quickly that we have expected so much from them, and we have to temper our expectations, especially with DeFi and especially with what's the word? Some of the projects we're going to look at in a minute. My mind's gone blank now. I'm thinking about how old I am, and I've lost the plot. Metaverses, that's what I'm going to go to. A metaverse is not something that can be built out in a day or a week. So we are going to go and look at Sandbox in a minute. So the metaverse is going to take a lot longer. Star Atlas, I mentioned it a long time on here. Earthman of the Sun, Shrapnel. These games, you think about these games, look how long it's taken to make something like Grand Theft Auto 6. It's taken them, I don't know, 8 years? You can't expect Star Atlas to go live with a fully built out metaverse in 4 years. It's impossible. It's going to take a good 10 years for that project to really kick in. And look what's happening as they're building it out. AI is coming to the fore. So you're going to see, in my opinion, you're going to see in the next 4 to 5 years, AI-driven metaverse games. So everything in that game becomes sentient. It will be like living in a completely different world. You will land on a planet in a solar system in 20 light years from your starbase, and you'll be talking and interacting with game mechanics and NPCs that are all built on AI. And that's the future really for gaming. That's where we want to get to. Imagine playing Blade Runner in 5 or 6 years' time, where everything in the game is based around AI. It's exciting, admittedly. But anyway, back to Solana. So we drew a trend line, and we drew these lines based on previous price action. As we have said before, I don't draw this chart before the stream. I update the chart sometimes, but in this instance I haven't, because we've done Solana on Monday, I think. So the reason we're going to do it again is very simply, we have a price target here of $144, which we came up to. But look, if we go down to maybe the 4 hour, here we go. Look what we've done. We've been in this range. We've had this lovely trend line, which we've followed for a long time. We're not going to cover that. But look what we've done. We've come up beautifully. We've come up above this price target. We've tested it as support. We've done the same thing on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Now, those moves indicate to me that we are going to have a move up. Maybe not today, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, but we're going to have a move up. We're having another leg up, and you can do the same thing you've done with Bitcoin. We can do the same thing again. What comes next? after a bit of consolidation, we are probably going to move up. So where do I think the next price target is for Solana? Well, again, I'm not super unrealistic. I think that Oracle, who uses my charts, may have removed my line, which was at 174. Right, anyway, I'm going to put it back in. I think he's removed my line. This is the problem when you share a TradingView account. The charts sometimes get confused. So my next target then, yeah, do not use leverage over the weekend. Totally agree. I think at times when we crab, if you long the market, what you'll tend to find is prices will do this. So this takes out the shorts, this takes out the longs, and then we come back to where we were. But most importantly, we've deleveraged the market. We did that with Bitcoin, I don't even know how many days ago it was. Crypto's a blur sometimes, but we've deleveraged Bitcoin especially. I think it was it, I can't remember, was it 700 million or was it 1.5 billion? I don't know what it was. It was an awful lot wiped out. So what I think is the next logical move for me is this fib level up here. That was a terrible cross. Let's try that again. My next target for Solana is here. We have got the RSI, when we've moved up in the past, has broken up towards this 80 range. We're currently sitting now at about 70, so we're still a little bit high. Maybe we do this for a little bit, come down, and then have a run at that next week. And we're not going to go straight there. We might break 150, 155, but my kind of like medium-term goal, the same way my medium-term goal for Bitcoin is 74,000, my medium-term goal for Solana is $174. Now, let's see how many things we've got. So we've got 3 things to do in 22 minutes. Let's move on. So, Sandbox. Now, full disclosure, I do not hold any metaverse tokens. And the reason is, I don't like any of them. I do not like Sandbox. I don't like Decentraland. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way they interact. I like nothing about them. So that's my take on metaverse tokens. Now, does that mean that you should sell them? No, because that's my opinion. Your opinion is, you like Sandbox, you use Sandbox, you play it, you see the future of it. Fantastic. Prove me wrong, do a 20x on the token, and be very happy for you. But for me, I don't see the metaverse working. I don't see the metaverse working for anything outside of gaming. Look at Fortnite. Look at Call of Duty. Look at Grand Theft Auto. Let's forget all that. Look at Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, 7 or 8 years ago, has a better metaverse than anything we've produced in Web3 to this point. It would take the guys, is it Riot Games that produce Grand Theft Auto? It would take them no time at all to convert their game into a blockchain-based game. And there are rumors that there is going to be tokens. There's rumors it's going to be Web3. We know all of that. If that comes out as a Web3 game, it's going to knock the spots off absolutely everything, right? So for me, gaming is the way forward for the metaverse. Gaming is already immersive. Whether it be an MMO like Warcraft, whether it be battle royales like Fortnite, whether it be Grand Theft Auto and its game economy and everything else, its PvP, whatever. Gaming is the future of the metaverse. I don't understand the need to push forward to use the metaverse for businesses. Nothing should replace face-to-face Zoom calls, because 75% of how we communicate is non-verbal. So you need to see the person's eyes, their gaze, their hand movements, everything about it. That's why I prefer to stream on camera. I prefer to be in front of the camera so you can see my eyes while I'm talking to you. I don't need to see your eyes. You just need to see my eyes. I don't understand why it's being pushed forward by governments. I don't understand any of it. I think it's gimmicky in its current guise. If GTA enters crypto, it will blow everyone out of the water by a mile. I think if Grand Theft Auto entered the metaverse and built a mechanism to allow other games to create cities and towns in GTA, I think it would become the metaverse of gaming. So if you could go to Grand Theft Auto and create a town called Cryptoville, and in that town you can go and hang out in a bar, watch live streamers talk about crypto, go into bars and talk to other people about crypto, go into the Solana bar or the Ethereum bar. Why would you want to go and do anything else when you could do it in Grand Theft Auto? So I totally agree with that comment. I think it would blow everything out of the water. So why is this token going to be set for huge gains? Well, I've looked at the charts for Sandbox, and let me tell you something. It's horrific. I've redrawn the fib level on it 3 times to try and find some levels that people are talking about. And believe you me, it's nowhere near all-time highs. So as of Thursday, the crypto sector is still gaining momentum. We know about this. Of course, it begs the question, is it too late to join in the fun and enter the crypto market? Now, we did say at the start of the stream, don't chase tornadoes. Look for coins that aren't in the headlines. And Decentraland and Sandbox, neither of them are really in the headlines. So I'll give them that. Ali Martinez doesn't seem to think so. Drawing attention to Sandbox, he argues it is the biggest altcoin in the industry right now. Oh, a metaverse token. Okay, Sandbox price chart. According to Martinez, the crypto industry still has some untapped potential. He points out Sand has yet to rise above the 78.6 fib level, a spot where traders think prices might change direction. When people say it's too late to enter the crypto market, they claim a top is coming, but bruv, Sand hasn't even got back to the fib. This is the biggest metaverse altcoin in the industry. So we're going to have a quick look. So again, I've already looked at this chart, and I mean, there are people out there that are probably really big on the metaverse. I get that. I'm not one of them. So let me very quickly have a look at this for you. Hello, Rod. Is that Rodney? Hello, Rodney. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Remember, we are live. This is not a recording, and I am not an AI voice, as I was once accused. So it's 11:43 Central European time. We're not even going to go there. We are not even going to go there. We're not even taking that into consideration. We're not taking into consideration any of this. Okay, this was metaverse hype. So what we've done, I've drawn some fib levels from January last year. So that gives us about 14 months. And there are some very nice levels in here if we do draw it from January. This is on the weekly chart. No wonder it's like that. There we go. Now, we talk about buying crypto in the danger zone, which is here. That's the best place to pick up. We've looked at it for XRP. We've looked at it for Cardano. I remember people saying to me, you know, why are we buying XRP? Or sorry, why are we buying Cardano at 30 cents? Why are we buying XRP at 40 cents? Because they're good prices to pick them up. Based on the size of the project, based on the potential of the project, they're good prices for it. Now, I am not going to say the same about Sandbox. I'm not going to say the same about Decentraland Mana either, but I am going to show you what I think. And that is, again, look at what happened. We were under its moving average. We came all the way down. I mean, look at where we were in October. What's that? 28 cents. 28 cents for a token that was over or near $10. We're at 28 cents. That is some fall from grace. And slowly, as most of the market has done, we came up. What did we do? We tested for support. We broke up, touched the 68 cent level. We came back, we tested support again. So this looks positive. This looks good. So where could we go for Harry. This is sand. Now, if you want to know what the token is, if you look on the right hand side, not the top left where I've put the date, if you look at the right hand side, you'll see it says sand USD above the price. So we've held twice, kind of twice, and now we're at this fib level. The next move up for me would be towards 81 cents, and then after that you're probably looking a bit further up. For me, you'd be looking towards this dollar range that we've been at before. But I mean, like I said before, driftwood floats in a rising tide. Everything floats in a rising tide within reason. So you could very well pick up sand at 68 cents. I mean, don't get me wrong. If sand turns round in the next 3 or 4 months and starts talking about AI and AI metaverses and the AI universe, and they just put the word AI in front, the letters AI in front of everything, this is going to be a $5 coin. This is easily going to be a $5 coin, because that's how it's working at the minute. You look at projects that mention AI in their press releases, the coin will pump 20%. So just bear in mind that sand, oh, wrong one. 1 second. That sand is currently valued at 1.5 billion. Now, during the bull run, what was its all-time high? $8.50. So let's say, for argument's sake, it needs to do a 15x. So a 15x would put that at $23 billion market cap. Is Sandbox a $23 billion company? Think of it like that. I know we have meme coins valued at 2 billion. And I know that Sandbox is a better project than a meme coin. So is Sandbox a better project than Bonk? Absolutely. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, Sandbox is a better project. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Sandbox is worth 5 billion or 10 billion or 20 billion, because Bonk is wholly overrated, as is Pepe, as is Doge, as is SHIB at this moment in time. So where I'm going with this is, do I think the token is undervalued? Yes, I do. I think it's undervalued at 69 cents. Do I think it's ever going to get back to its all-time high? I think if it gets an AI integration, this will be a $40 billion project. If it turns its metaverse into an AI-driven metaverse, it will absolutely do multiples. But I am not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it at 69 cents or $1. I would buy Sandbox at 10 or 20 cents, because I just don't see that people using it. I don't see people wanting to use it. I don't see the benefit of it. Roblox gets more attention than Sandbox. Roblox has got Paris Hilton on there and these rappers on there, so I just don't see it for Sandbox, unfortunately. But by all means, it's a really, I mean, look at it, looks like a pump and dump. It looks like a pump and dump. But could it get to $4 or $5? Absolutely. But I'm not going to hold it. I'm not going to hold any metaverse token. I tell a lie. I do have some Star Atlas assets, because when I was very, very young, you can go and look this up. There's a lot of old timers out there. The very first metaverse game I ever played was Elite, which I think was in 1984 or 1985. Let me go and have a look. I am completely going off on a tangent, but I don't care, because this game came out in, where's the date of that game? 1984. So I played this when I was 11 or 10. And this was the very first metaverse game. So you'll see games that have been trying to copy this game. This game was built on a BBC computer, or it was built and played on a BBC computer. These are vector graphics in 1984. That's 40 years ago. So Yeah, so I hold Star Atlas because I think Star Atlas could be the blockchain version of Elite. That's where I think I would go. So if I'm going to back a metaverse, it's going to be Star Atlas. Anyway, so PlayStation goes crypto. Sony seeks patent for super fungible gaming tokens. Now, of course, we like this, don't we? We like this a lot. Why do we like this? Because we want two things in crypto. We want adoption and regulation. Regulation to protect you and stop the bad actors, and adoption so people play the games. That is what we want. Sony's latest patent application shows how PlayStation could use blockchain gaming tech to let players own their own unique assets. This is what we want. Ownership of assets. Buying people into games. Think of it this way. You pick up a game for £40, $40. You play the game, you put it down, you never play it again. You play a game like Grand Theft Auto, where you digitally buy that car and you own it. You own a fleet of 50 cars and 60 restaurants in the game, and then somebody says to you, you know, you can sell those cars, you can sell those properties, you can make real world money out of it. You're buying people into your game. It's a marketing tool. Don't forget, people, they want you to play their games. Fortnite has been doing it for a while now with the skins. You've got these rare skins, these old skins. You know, the skin, people, if we talked about Fortnite, what would you mention to me? You wouldn't mention the gameplay or building towers. You'd mention the skins and the dances and the, what are they called? Parachutes. That's what you'd mention to me. So you don't talk about the gameplay, you talk about the assets. Now, if we can get gamers to understand that they can own their assets, we've brought in an entire generation to crypto without doing anything. And Epic know this, and Riot know this, and PlayStation know this, Sony know this, Nintendo, they all know this, and they're trying to move that way. So this is great news. Let's see if we've got any quotes from here. So the patent application outlines a process of tracking a set of gaming assets associated with a player on an electronic device and generating metadata based on those assets. The metadata would then be used to create a super fungible token, essentially a bundle of various NFTs where the token is created by the storage of said metadata on a distributed ledger that is associated with the gaming application. The application implies that Sony is considering allowing NFTs in its games. The patent does include the term distributed ledger. Either way, whether or not Sony plans to launch the NFTs on a public chain like Ethereum or Solana, or on a private chain of its own making, NFT adoption. Now, I would have no problem in Sony creating its own blockchain, completely gated off from Ethereum and Solana. I'd have no problem with that, because I don't care what people say about, you know, it's not real crypto, it's not real blockchain, whatever it might be. They have a duty of care to the 11 and 12-year-old kids that play those games. And that duty of care is to stop them being ripped off. And that duty of care is to stop people scamming them out of their products. If you've got a 13-year-old kid playing a game and he wins a $500 NFT or an NFT worth $500, and it's on the Solana blockchain, I mean, yes, you can lock NFTs on Solana, I know all that, but what I mean is, if that kid gets conned into giving it away, that's theft. PlayStation are not going to want that. So if they build their own private blockchain with a private marketplace where they control everything and take a percentage of their profits, I would have no issues whatsoever. I think it'd be very dangerous for Nintendo and PlayStation and even Epic to allow these assets to be sold on Solana. There's too many scammers for a start off. And how would the wallet integrations work between getting them from the PlayStation into your Solana wallet? I know Star Atlas, for example, they've built a Web3 wallet with an SDK that you can go and adopt and use, and it's brilliant, it's great, I like that. But they're Web3 games already. We're talking about Sony. So if Sony builds out its own blockchain called the PlayStation Chain or Play Chain or whatever you want to call it, I wouldn't care. I think that's a great thing, because It's the gateway crypto. I've talked about this with meme coins. Meme coins are gateway cryptos to the wider universe. The Bitcoin ETF has been the gateway crypto for people who've never been near some of the exchanges you can get downloaded to your phone. So it's advertising for crypto. People hold Bitcoin through BlackRock or whatever it might be. They'll probably want to, there'll be a percentage of them which will be inquisitive. What are the next biggest blockchains? Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, XRP. That will be one way in. The other way in will be through meme coins, buying Bonk, buying Pepe. We've talked about this week already. So I don't have a problem with PlayStation. Right, okay, hang on. Let me get another article up. Here we go. So we're going to move on. We've got 4 minutes to cover the last article. We've not done bad today. We have not done bad. Oh, we had a poll today. Are we going to hit $70,000 today? 75% have said yes. 25% have said no. Well, there you go. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Before I forget, by the way, I haven't been doing this for a while. If you're new here, we stream every day at 11 o'clock. Smash the like button. Smash the follow button. We will be streaming tomorrow from the office at 11 a.m. So I'll be physically on the camera tomorrow talking to you in my eyeballs. I will be talking to you about all things crypto, and I will be joined by Brogan, the Oracle, as some people call him. So Justice Department raises objection to Do Kwon's extradition to South Korea. The US Justice Department opposes his extradition from South Korea. I think it should say opposes Do Kwon's extradition to South Korea, citing international agreements and Montenegrin law. So basically, for those of you that don't know, Do Kwon was the head of the LFG, the Lunar Foundation, and it all went to hell in a handbasket and it crashed. And they are holding him personally responsible, and they want to send him to prison. Now, I'm not going to get into the rights or wrongs of everything. All I will say is if you look at the crime committed by Do Kwon and then compare it to the crime committed by Sam Bankman-Fried, for example, then for me, one is knowingly breaking the law and the other one isn't knowingly breaking the law. That doesn't mean they're both innocent. It doesn't mean they're both guilty. It just means that one of them allowed it to happen. You could say negligence because of the death spiral that was on UST. That caused Luna to crash, wiped out the two of the top 20 crypto assets, caused a massive ruckus, whereas Sam Bankman-Fried, who was bribing Democrat politicians, he was paying crypto publications to publish hit pieces on his competition, and all of those kind of good things. So for me, Do Kwon is more innocent than Sam Bankman-Fried, and he is in Montenegro. He's been arrested, and America wants to bring him back to America for prosecution, and South Korea wants him bringing back. So the US Department contests his extradition to South Korea, citing agreement with Montenegro. The South Korean ministry say they have yet to receive official notification from Montenegro. Industry lawyers also expressed skepticism on Do Kwon's extradition to South Korea. Now, what do I think? I think if you're born in South Korea and you commit an international crime, you should go and face charges in your home nation. So if I broke the law while I was in Finland, I'd expect to be extradited to the UK because I'm British. If you're French and you commit a crime in Spain, I'd expect you to be sent back to France. But America seems to think that it can have carte blanche legal claim over everybody in the world. And I don't agree with that, in my humble opinion. The United States continue to seek Kwon's extradition in accordance with relevant international and bilateral agreements and Montenegrin law. The United States appreciates the cooperation of the Montenegrin authorities in ensuring that all individuals are subject to the rule of law. Now, again, just because American citizens were impacted by this, there were other people impacted by this in South Korea, in Europe, in Africa, in Asia. And I don't believe America should have the right to prosecute somebody who's committed an international crime, in my opinion. And I'm not necessarily a huge fanboy of Do Kwon, don't get me wrong, but I think it's only fair. Sam Bankman-Fried is American. He should face trial in America. Alex Mashinsky is American. He should face trial in America. Do Kwon is South Korean. He should face trial in South Korea. That's just the way I think. So in response to the decision to extradite Do Kwon to South Korea, some industry lawyers have expressed skepticism. Terence Young has said, the decision is a travesty. He emphasized that the US has effectively prosecuted individuals involved in significant cryptocurrency collapses such as FTX. The US probably has the largest number of victims by both number and dollar amount. It seems a bit ridiculous for Montenegro to extradite him to South Korea, where he might get acquitted or receive a comically light sentence. So what he's saying is, here, this lawyer, is that we want to take him so we can put him in prison and throw away the key. That is what he is saying. Now, that for me tells me the attitude of these officials in America, and that is that they believe that you are guilty even before you've stood trial. So where he might get acquitted or receive a comically light sentence, well, number one, there's no crime caused just yet because it hasn't been proven in the court of law. So to say that sums up America for me, unfortunately. I know there's probably a lot of people from America listening, but your court system is broke. Anyway, it's 12:01. I will have to go very soon. Final thoughts then. So final thoughts was replace the quiz. There's too much to talk about to do the quiz. I don't have enough time to fit making videos and doing the live streams every day into the show. Remember, this live stream takes about 4 hours a day. So it's 4 hours a day of my time just to do an hour's live stream. Might not sound like a lot, you might not be overly impressed with it, but that's just, it is what it is. It takes 4 hours of preparation and everything. So my final thought today is, whatever you do over the next 3 or 4 months, don't let anybody scare you out of selling your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or any of your top layer 1 or layer 2 coins. We are going to see an awful lot of volatility over the next 5 weeks as we run up to the halving. Bitcoin might go down to 50,000. Bitcoin might go up to 80,000. But whatever happens, remember that history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. What I mean by that is we will see a multiple of most coins over the next 18 months. To have held your crypto through the worst bear market we've ever seen, and then sell just as we start to take profit, just as we start to see profits, is not the right way to do it. There will come a time on here where I will be telling you nobody went broke taking profits, and that will be the indicator to you that now is a good time to start taking profits. So the same way that you've been accumulating crypto over the last 18 months, you've been buying $5 a week, $10 a week, $100 a week, whatever it might be of crypto. When we get towards maybe the end of the year, maybe the beginning of summer next year, maybe sometime between then and whenever, have an idea of what price you think you should sell your crypto at. Now, you might not know what price to sell Bitcoin and Ethereum at. And then you might have to start tuning into people like me to have some idea. And then I'll probably tell you, I don't really know, but I think 20,000 is a good price to start taking profits on Ethereum, or $250,000 is a good price to start taking profits on Bitcoin. But that's only my opinion. So don't be shaken out. If you panic and we have 2 or 3 days next week where Bitcoin starts to correct and comes down, potentially we could lose 20% over a week of Bitcoin. If we do that from 70,000, that brings us down to 56,000. We're still way higher than we were in summer last year. So don't panic. If you're going to sell for a logical, rational reason. If you need money for something, sell, but set price targets. Sell at 70 or 90 or 110, that's fine. But if you're in it for the long term, remember the long term is this bull cycle and the next bull cycle and maybe the next bull cycle. So if you're holding Bitcoin now, and I don't know what the price of Bitcoin is going to be in 18 months' time, and most people don't, we can have educated guesses. Plan B is the closest I've seen to predicting the price of Bitcoin, and he says $480,000, which I think is astronomically high for where we are now. So don't get shaken out by BlackRock or Goldman Sachs telling you that Bitcoin is worthless. Don't get shaken out by Peter Schiff telling you that gold has value and Bitcoin has no value. Don't listen to them. Think about why people say things. Why does Jamie Dimon call Bitcoin worthless? Because he wants to drive the price down so they can buy more. Why does Peter Schiff fade Bitcoin? Because he wants people to buy gold. Don't listen to what they say. Think about why they're saying it. Think about the reasons that the International Monetary Fund don't like Bitcoin and crypto, because they can't control it. The same with the EU. They don't control it. Then look at the people that have bought into Bitcoin. The smaller nations, the people on the side, the outspoken people. Edward Snowden, for example, talks about Bitcoin an awful lot. Think about why and what their motivations are for buying Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin. And then your truth, your opinion, should fall somewhere in the middle, depending on which opinion you side with. So that's my final thought. I'm not going to carry on any longer because it's already 6 minutes past 12. A big thank you to everybody that has tuned in. And remember, we're live tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So make sure to check the calendar and book yourself in for tomorrow. I'll be in the studio with Brogan. With all that being said, thank you for watching. I'm going to put the stream onto pause for the next couple of minutes while I get everything turned off, and I will see you in the morning. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend if I don't speak to you tomorrow. Take care.